Is it coincidence? No? I think 2 hours is what we're supposed to spend here. I gotta figure out how to get this guy alone.
So much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil works.
Praise be to our
Therefore,
Lord.
since the Spirit desires permission to
Wait,
speak,
is there not a bowl of food for me?
perfect disciples,
Here we go.
even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation. For it is written, in much speaking you will not
on.
escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' part is to be silent and to listen. For that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by reverence. But as for coarse jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter, these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict, readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ, who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered,
How have I been poisoned?
receive it as a divine command.
Someone
and cannot
poisoned my
suffer
fucking
any delay
food.
in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men.
Someone's upset
You've
about
got a
me
strong
investigating.
constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story.
Oh, he's gonna
Once
reveal
upon
who
a
he
time,
is.
there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog
And I'm the hunting
to
dog.
find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
I think I understand you. But the beast would need to know what deal he's being offered.
You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. And what exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
This is a great question. Metallica says over in Twitch, what's the problem with veganism? They don't hurt anybody, and India has a lot of vegans as well. No one said there's a problem with veganism. at all. But here's the reality of your proposition. Veganism only exists in first world countries where people have the option on what they choose to eat. You might say that India has a lot of vegans. India has religious reasons for not eating meat. I would challenge anyone who is a vegan to go to a country like Mongolia. Go to Mongolia and try to live your life as a vegan. Please just try it. It's impossible. You cannot live your life as a vegan in Mongolia. And the reason is because when you go to places like Mongolia, you don't have almond butter and vitamin B12 supplements and peanut butter and protein, a turkey, what is it called? The fake bacon burger, the fake turkey burgers. Veganism is a first world construct. It really only exists for the most part in first world countries and first world cities where you have the option to pay lots of money to be a vegan. It is not cheap to be a vegan. So go to Mongolia and go live with the horsemen who live out in the middle of the countryside, and their diet largely consists of cow's milk, horse flesh, cow flesh, potatoes, and onions, because that's what the land provides. They don't have the option to be a vegan because there are no other food choices for them. The idea that veganism is this save the planet, everyone can be a vegan, it's going to be this amazing thing, it's a lie. It's not real. Veganism is a first world choice that people make, and it is generally considered a luxury choice by people who live in a place where they actually have the options. Now, India is a country where they have religious reasons for not eating meat, and so they have lentils and lots of spices in different places, lots of different ways that they could eat that aren't meat. But go to a country where there aren't those options and tell me that veganism is a legitimate way to live. It's not. There's nothing wrong with veganism, but you have to understand that veganism is a first world luxury. It's also something that's only existed as a general way of thinking and as a religious movement for the past 50 years or so. There have been vegans before that and people who don't eat meat for the purposes of I don't want to hurt an animal, looking at the Hindu as an example, who believe that, cows are sacred. But as a general rule, there hasn't been a religious movement around veganism until the last 50 years or so. And the reason is because it's not a realistic way of eating for many, many people around the world, because most people who don't live in cities, most people live in rural countryside areas where they don't have the option to have almond butter and almond milk and oat milk and, you know, gluten free and no, that's not. Go live with the Bedouins in the deserts, and they're literally drinking camel milk and eating camel flesh and living off of whatever they can scrounge from the desert. They're eating horse flesh. Like, there are not vegan options in the poor places of the world and the non-developed places. It's only a first world luxury thing. Now, there are exceptions to that, but for the most part, meat, potatoes, onions, those are the core dietary ingredients for most people around the world. Like around the world, as a general rule, some type of meat, some type of potato or vegetable, stews. Um, so yeah, I would love, if you want to be educated on the topic, I would love to get into this with people someday. It's a fascinating discussion. And yes, Lady Atara, you don't get all the nutrients you need without supplementation. So veganism is a great concept, but it is a first world concept that is and anyone who says that being a vegan is somehow going to save everyone, no, it's not, because you have to have supplementation. In a utopian world where we're all living off of like food from a tube, like in the Matrix, where all of our nutrients are like in some sort of oatmeal like mixture where you can actually, suck it down and you get all your nutrients from a lab. In that perfect environment, sure, we could all be vegans and no one needs to eat meat because we have a laboratory somewhere, Soylent Green. Um, but yeah, Metallica, you've obviously not been around the world as much as you claim you do because you just made a statement. People can be vegan everywhere, and I don't think it's a luxury but a moral choice. I'm sorry, you're wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to recognize that you're not correct. It's okay to recognize that you need to educate yourself a little bit more. It's okay. It's all right. But you are wrong. Go to go to the middle of Mongolia and tell a Mongolian living in a yurt with his herd of horses and his herd of cattle, tell that person that they can be a vegan. I challenge you. Go forth and do that, then come back to us after you've educated yourself a little bit more and talk to us about how people can be vegan everywhere. Seriously.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If
Yeah,
news of the
Dribrom, I
murder
could
got
get into
out
that
from the
too because my
monastery, my
family
former
are
friends might
farmers.
believe
So
I'm
if
dead.
you plow
But
a
I'm offering
field
you a solution
to
that
create
doesn't require any
soybeans, as an
killing.
example, you're killing
Before
every
we make
rat,
a run
every
for it,
shrew, every
we'll make it
snake,
look like someone's killed
like
me.
your little tofu
Loads
that
of
you
blood,
eat,
a
your
tattered
almond
scrap of my
milk.
habit, and
Anybody who
footprints
claims that
leading towards the
almond
river.
milk, guys, you guys have got me on a
No
rant this
one will
morning.
bother looking for my body there.
If you've
There
never
we'll split
created
up.
a field of
You
almond
go for your
trees
bounty,
and
and I'll
only
get as
almond
far away from here
trees,
as I can.
you have to kill every rat, every shrew, every mouse, every bird, you have to kill literally 500 different types of animals to create a field of almond trees to get the nuts that you want to use to make almond milk. By claiming that almond milk is some precious vegan, you don't know what you're talking about because you have killed hundreds of animals to create a field of only almonds. It's the statistics are absolutely bonkers, but yet I'm a moral superiorist and I don't believe in killing animals. I only eat tofu and soy. No, you're a bigger murderer than most other people are because your your little almond field or your soy field, like anybody who's ever says that kind of stuff has never done actual farming. Because like the normal land, if you're gonna go till land, let's say you want to plant wheat. In that wheat field, you're gonna have weeds. You're gonna have native grasses like Timothy grass, fescue, all these. It depends on where you live, but you're gonna have different types of grasses, right? So if you want to grow a wheat crop, you have to kill everything else other than the wheat crop. So you're spraying pesticides and you're killing off the weeds. Well, guess what eats those weeds? Mice and snakes. What eats the mice and snakes? Birds, other animals. So by killing off the weeds, you're killing off all of the snakes, you're killing off all of the mice, you're killing off all of the shrews, you're killing off all of the birds, you're killing all of the wildlife that's part of the ecosystem that eats the weeds and the other small plants that were there natively because you want to plant wheat, right? So you, as a vegan, because you want to only eat wheat or soy, you're killing everything else to make your field only that one thing because you're saying, I'm morally superior and this product is safe for the environment and I don't want to hurt animals. I only want to eat almonds and I only want to do tofu and soy because it's bad to kill animals. I understand the emotional connection. I have cats. I would never eat my cats. Never. They're my pets. They are sacred family members to me. But it's incredibly naive and disingenuous and incredibly uneducated to think that your soy milk or your almond milk is somehow not contributing to the loss of millions of lives every single year because you don't understand basic frickin' agriculture. Yes, I'm ranting because it's such a line of horse shit from people who are like,
Good.
it's
Let's do it
morally
your way.
superior to not eat meat.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow. That sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Now, how am I going to
Getting
get
the
this guy
keys
back
won't
to
be
Radzig
easy.
if I'm agreeing to help
I
him
know.
escape?
But Brother Solarius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, they'll be worth finding. Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at all times.
They both sound hard to me.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can double cross
But
him
needs
later.
must. And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it. All the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list. And when it's delivered the next day...
It's a funny conversation too, because back when we were still traveling, we had a travel blogging couple that we were friends with, and one of them was a meat eater, and the other one was a vegan. And this is why I bring up the example of Mongolia, because they actually went to Mongolia and went to the countryside with the horse chieftains and lived out there with them for like 3 months on a tour that they were doing as part of an investigative journalist thing they were working on. And she had to eat meat for the first time in like 6 years because there was literally no options. She literally lived on potatoes, cow milk and horse milk, horse flesh and cow flesh, and like these bone broth soups that they would make living in the yurts. And she literally came back from that trip and said, I still want to be a vegan because I don't believe I don't like the idea of killing animals. But after spending time with these people who roam the land in the mountains and live off the land, I realized that they don't go to the supermarkets. They don't have access to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and almond butter and almond milk and vitamin B supplements and all of these things that vegans like to claim are the the alternative to eating meat. She's like, their diet is literally meat, potatoes and onions, and these bone broth soups and milk and fermented milk. She's like, I didn't have a choice. I literally couldn't be vegan for the 3 months I was there because their only food that where's the supermarket? We're literally 300 miles from the nearest supermarket, living with a tribe of horses, a herd of horses and a tribe of people that are in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. Where are we going to get our vegan food from? Where am I getting lettuce? Where am I getting my gluten-free tortillas, my rice chips, my soy latte? Where am I getting my soy milk and almond milk and my oat milk? Where am I getting these things from when I'm 300 miles from a fucking supermarket? Like I will fight vegans every single time because they are completely, for the most part, again, exceptions to the rule, like Buddhists, again, but they live in a place where they have the option. When you talk about people who don't have the option, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at the people who have no other choice. Like, you tell me how those people are supposed to be able to have access to non-meat products. Tell me that. You solve that problem. You tell me how they can be vegans, and maybe we can sit down and have a conversation one-on-one. But if you can't figure that problem out, your idea of, I'm going to be a vegan because it's morally incorrect to kill an animal, you don't know what you're talking about. You're literally part of the uneducated.
What are you going to do?
I need to get...
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can
Horse
get
flesh
started.
is tasty, by the way.
Come and see me
Horse
once
meat
you
is
have
the
everything.
best red meat I've ever
And
had.
try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you.
I can't even punch this guy. I wonder if I can. Yeah, see, that was too long ago. I don't want to kill any of the novices. Uh, DJ Priest says, if you don't kill an animal, wouldn't it just slowly die and painfully die anyway? Uh, or be eaten. I mean, the food chain is the food chain for a reason. Like, pretty much everything on the, not pretty much, it is fact. Fact is that everything on this planet is food for something else. So they either die of parasites, they die of infections, they die of diseases that they don't have medicines for. The only reason we live so long is because we are outside of the food chain for the most part. We have modern medicine, we have things that cure diseases, we have vaccines. Yeah, Ashley, just tell the lions it's morally incorrect to eat you. I'm sure they'll totally understand. I have to steal them from the prior. Kitchen. Oh man, this is all related to like thieving stuff. There absolutely is, Cree. There's a parasite that eats the ant from the inside and uses its body as a puppet. They also do it to like
Things will get
other
worse.
beetles and stuff.
I feel it in my joints. The things you say. My joints started aching just before they raised stomachs, and now they hurt again.
Brother,
Worse than last time.
is this a tavern? Are we at a dogfight? Violence doesn't belong here. As you well know, this is unforgivable.
I've had enough of this. You'll never put me in seclusion.
You dare resist punishment? Let me remind you, brother, you will suffer the consequences of your deeds.
Yes, brother. I'm resisting punishment. I've had it up to my neck with you, your monastery, and your bullshit. Do your damnedest.
You failed to complete your trial period as a novice. You are hereby banished from the Order of Saint Benedict. Be gone at once.
Yeah, I would have no way of getting to him. I think I just need to reload because I now I know what I know. Yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. By the way, if you live in a part of the world where you have the option to be a vegan, go for it. Go for it. Everyone has the right to do what they want with their lives. I'm not against veganism. I'm not against vegetarianism. What I am staunchly against and what I will fight till the day I die is the ignorant people who make the comments that everyone should be vegan and that they're not trying hard enough. Nah. Okay, go to the poor places of the world and tell those people who only have access to chickens and carrots, right? But if you, like Nguyen says, I've been half vegan my life, I would like to be full vegan, go for it if that's what makes you happy, and if you live in a place where you can be and you can afford to be, then do it. But don't, like that ignoramus earlier who was in chat, I don't know who it was, they probably left because I was ranting against them, that Metallica person, like, claiming that everybody should be vegan and that, what was the comment they made? People can be vegan everywhere. It's not luxury, it's a moral choice. That is the biggest line of BS ever. No, it's not. It is not a choice for some people. It is not it is absolutely a luxury for some people. It's so ridiculous. It's literally saying that everyone who eats meat is morally reprehensible and is a bad person. Oh my God, that is the most uneducated statement ever. Like you're literally saying that the poor person living in the middle of the jungles of Brazil who doesn't have access to a Whole Foods and a Trader Joe's, you're literally saying that that person should be condemned because they're not eating vegan. Get the frack out of here, man. That's what I will fight against. So yeah, if you want to be vegan, go for it. Eat what you want, but don't claim that everyone should do it and that they're morally inferior to you. Now the question is, I also need to give my cat her medicine. I forgot all about that. If I choose not to pursue the monastery quest this particular way, I still have to figure out how to get Antonius out. And I can't if I've been kicked out of the monastery, right? Let's sleep and see what happens. I'll probably just reload and try this a different way. Oh, am I gonna get kicked out? I can't sleep in this bed, probably.
Hey, do you think you own the place? Snoring here?
Clear off!
Maybe I can put my feet up for a while.
Well, get out of the way, peasant. Yeah. Wait, are those the novices? Novices? Hang on.
What was that?
No, those are just normal people. I guess you have to be inside of the... Which is this over here. Well, I'm pretty sure we could Google it really quick, TNK. A 2021 survey found that there were only 9% of the 9% of the population in 2021, 9% of the population of India was vegan. How many people live in, I mean, 9% is a very small, I don't know who it was earlier that claimed that most of India is vegan. That's according to this, according to a quick Google search, which is not by any means indicative of anything. How many billions of people live there? 9% is nothing. It's definitely not a majority like some person claimed. Oh, I'm not into the anti-vegan thing at all, Nugan. What I am against is uneducated comments like that person made on Twitch earlier about how everyone has a moral obligation to go vegan. That I will absolutely fight against. That's bullshit. So I am not anti-vegan. I am simply educated, and when I see people making uneducated comments, I am absolutely going to step into the conversation and educate people with actual facts. Because facts, science, those are very important. Very, very important that people have facts. So I'm not anti-vegan. I am anti-ignorance. Anti-hypocrisy, says Thandar? Yes, I'm anti-hypocrisy. That's another way to look at it. Oh, this is where I woke up and was like, hey, where's everybody at? What is there? Is there a save before this? Exactly like Cold Sun says, it's not anti-vegan to call out a vegan for claiming falsehoods. Correct.
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
All right, Pippin, you're awake, Mama?
I'm a
It's time for
novice
your
and I'm
medicine.
here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education.
Good morning, sweetie.
Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Has he got his own PA system?
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
Chris says, unless I'm cremated, I'm going to be eaten also. Correct. I will be definitely, I don't plan on being cremated. So something will eat me for sure. Well, it might be worms. It might be chickens. Chickens are vicious, man. Chickens and pigs. Uh, they'll eat anything.
It was my choice. For a common lad like me, it's the easiest way to get an education and do something worthwhile with my life.
It looks like we're both here for the same reason. I think we'll get along.
All right, give me a second, guys. I need to take care of my cat because she's a little bit. We're about 30 minutes past her time to get her meds. Thanos, excuse me, Transcend says I'm going to be ejected into space. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I got to take care of my kitty cat with her meds and stuff. All right, guys. I'm actually gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I will be back here in a bit. We got to go to the grocery store, and I kind of lost track of time. So I'm gonna take care of my cat, give her her meds, everything, and then Chris and I are gonna run to the shop, get some supplies, and then I'll be back, and I'll come back. We'll do some more Kingdom Come Deliverance here in a bit. So it'll probably be like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So just stay tuned to social media, Discord, all those places, Twitch, YouTube, all those good things. We'll be back in a bit.